Hello, welcome. This is Erin Smilkstein with the Professional Learning Team at the Thompson Valley School District, and I am your Professional Learning Coordinator. So, welcome to this webinar. I am very grateful to have everyone participating or listening later, however you have decided to do this, and really learn a few things about how we are going to run our EdCamp on September 5th and how you as the valuable host can make your sessions even better. All of the session content that I've seen is just amazing, and I really wish there was a way to go to 75 sessions in an hour, but there's not. So we'll be going around, but I promise you that there is something for everybody. So if you're not hosting 3 sessions, you should definitely get into other sessions. There's also a lot of opportunity for open collaboration, which is really important as we move more towards a very solid EdCamp model where you are deciding what you want to do as you walk in the door. But we have so much great information. People really stepped up, and you as the host, let's see what we can do. I want to make sure that you have as much information as you need in order to get started and really get the most out of your sessions. I also don't want to keep you here very long. So I promise you. Now, the last time I did this, I did it in 16 minutes, okay? So let's see if I can do that again. And this is just a quick webinar. I don't plan on keeping you the rest of the night. We all got lives to get to, but I do want to make sure that you get the information you need. Okay, with that, let's talk about, let's see if my scroll will work. Okay. Before your session, great. Before your session, a few things to keep in mind before you come in. First, make sure that you do have your resources, as we do not have, or I do not have access to the things that you are going to be using. You're going to be using your own resources. You can bring what you need or what you want to bring, and you can also pass out to your participants what you want to bring. Just make sure that you have them. Also, make sure to check the session board one more time, as things have been shifting. Pretty much, if you checked it this morning, probably nothing has changed for you. A few sessions were added, though, so you may want to just go back and make sure that the recommended for, if your webinar, or not your webinar, if your session is for a particular audience, you want to make sure that they know it and that we have highlighted it, and also what the outcome will be, so that your description is accurate to what you want your session to be. And while you're doing that, plan out a few questions or conversation starters. So remember, you can ask people to share their own experiences. However, I caution on that if you have a room full of 25 people, sometimes even 10 people, asking them what they do and their experiences and to share out can kind of use up a lot of time. People get very excited when they're asked about a question or topic. So if you did a quick go around introduction, that would be great. Or just start off by looking for, maybe what they hope to get out of the session. You don't have to do a lot of introduction, but having a few question starters to get you going is going to really help people start engaging with you. There's also some conversation starters that we have, like, I understand about this, or what does this mean to you? Just really think about ways that you can engage your audience in a way that's going to help them connect what you're doing back to their students, how it might impact their class, and what kids or how kids might react to this. Defining your success criteria will look like what? Sorry, let's try that again. Define what your success criteria will look like when you leave the session. In other words, was it a successful session? How do you know? What were you looking for? It's also important to think about that we are moving towards personalized learning with our students, so that's what we would want for our audience, is to have the chance and the ability to do that in your session, is get up, move around, work on things that just isn't the presenter in the front giving the information, but a way to actually interact and engage with it. People are going to be very excited if they come to your session and they're able to not only ask questions, but also do the things that you are talking about. Now, something that you might want to think about if you're not already doing 3 sessions is to actually stick around. Now make sure that either your room is open for either an open session, open collaboration, or that you find a common area, but you could invite people back to continue having a conversation with you, to collaborate, to gather more ideas on their own. So it's more of a conversation rather than a presentation. And that's going to be really powerful as we move more into this EdCamp model, where you are not only presenting and providing information to your colleagues, but you're doing it kind of on the fly. That's the real EdCamp model. So we have so much good information and so many brilliant people in this district that we have a ton of people ready and willing to present. Some people still are unsure if they want to present, and I want you to encourage them that, look, all you have to do is be interested in something. That's all you have to do. If you're interested in it, let us know. We put it on the schedule. Boom, it becomes a topic. You don't even have to be the host of it or present or even get anything ready for it, but you come in willing to start the conversation, and that's going to be really powerful as we move forward. So looking at the session board, make sure that your times, you know your times in your rooms. From the last one, we learned that having a lot more signs is going to be really helpful to people. So we are doing a lot more signs, a lot more, arrows go here. I hope the map is better coordinated. We're really trying to make the time that you spend at the building during your district time useful and not, wandering the halls trying to figure out where you're supposed to be. So the session board, if you haven't seen it, the short link is tinyurl.com/TSD September 5. Uppercase, lowercase, it really doesn't matter. It'll go there, TSD September 5. So you may have seen this, the first session board, where everything is broken into core areas, and sessions that have to do with those particular topics are actually in those areas. So for example, first floor E are all the E100 rooms. And second floor E is all the E200 rooms in Mountain View. If you didn't know where we're going, read your email. The two that are happening in the morning, there is session 1, and it's ESS. All ESS teachers are meeting session 1 in the cafeteria. During session 2, there is nothing planned in there. You are more than welcome to go in and collaborate, do some work. And session 3 is all about CAS. So if you are involved with CAS and you are really looking to have more workspace, more work time, there will be people in there to guide and lead and answer questions for you, but you will be able to sit at tables and really dig in and get some good work done. The next part is creating a note catcher for your sessions. And this also came out of people, and what they really wanted when they left sessions was a way to capture notes, to really understand what was going on in sessions that they didn't get to, but also have something in their mind to refer back to when they leave the session that they did go to. So there is a Google folder. It is ready for everybody to use. And again, the short link, tinyurl, because I love my tiny URL, September 5 EdCamp Notes. Sept 5 EdCamp Notes. And this will be a place that every single person can add and subtract from. It is open edit, okay? So just be aware of that as you go in. If you change something, you're changing it for everybody. So when you go to the tiny URL, September 5 EdCamp Notes, the first thing looks like this. And you'll notice that the folders correspond to the different core areas. Once you get into the core areas, you'll see secondary ones that have to do with the particular topics in each of those areas. You can either take a blank template that looks just like this and put it in your own folder, or there should be a pre-populated one. Now, I say should be because we made them last week, and since things have been added or changed, you may or may not find one that actually has like your session name and presenter name in it. So please add those. Also, have somebody in the class take the notes. Be the note catcher. They can either take them digitally on this form, or they can take it on a piece of paper. We will have this printed out for people. Do not worry so much about the participants. They are not going to be, it's not necessary to capture their names in this form, as you will be taking attendance during session 1. That is during session 1. So at check-in, you will be getting you'll be parking yourself, but once you park, you can start signing in at 11:30. So if you do get there a bit early, you can get to your room, check it out, make sure everything's there. Unlike the secondary EdCamp that just happened a couple weeks ago, there is not going to be signups on tables as you come in. With everybody coming to the same building, we just thought that would just be a little bit too much chaos, take a little bit too much time, and you wouldn't be able to get to your sessions on time. So there will be a presenters check-in table. At the table, you'll pick up your lanyard, your presenter's lanyard, you'll pick up your attendance sheets and the note catcher sheets at the table if you want to have somebody take notes in the room on paper. We will gather those and put them onto the resource binder for you, or you can have somebody do that. So it'd be a really good idea to get into the resource binder at this link and dig in and find out where your stuff is so you can lead somebody to it right away. The next thing is check your room. And we have asked for, and we hope that all rooms have projectors and what you need. However, if they don't, or you're locked out or anything, you can certainly find someone on school grounds, or you can email me directly, and I will be checking my phone constantly. I will check my email constantly and make sure that we can get whatever you need solved so that you can have a very, very smooth session. So during the session, remember, attendance sheets are for session 1 only. You will have people fill the attendance sheet in during session 1. If you're not presenting during session 1, don't worry about it, because ideally everybody is in a session during session 1, so they will have their name on an attendance sheet. We will then come around, and by we I mean the professional learning team, will come around and gather those during the first session. If we don't get that from you, please make sure to find somebody and turn that in. We will do our best to hit every single room and get all of those, but if for some reason it's not done when we come by, or whatever happens, it gets like put under another piece of paper, please make sure that gets to us before the end of the day. We'll do our best to remind everybody, but you can also help out if you're a session 1 person. During it, again, make sure at the beginning of the session to ask somebody to capture notes and to keep the discussion thread going. Point this part out on the resources, that this is going, because this is open edit, anybody can add anything. And if they have an aha moment after your session, or if they're even sitting in your session and they feel like typing something out to put in this notes, this would be a great place to have people who are in the session really start some discussion points, ask some questions, things to think about later, and then have other people who weren't able to come to the session come in and look at what was discussed, and then be able to reach out and get more ideas. So just things to remember, that because we are moving towards the EdCamp model that is a lot more collaboration, try as much as you can to facilitate conversations versus just giving information. So of course there's going to be that when you have a lot of information to give, but really consider how you can connect the topic to your audience and have them engage in it. The simplest way possibly to do that would be at some point just have a turn and talk, where people talk to the person, the 1 or 2 people near them, just on a question or a point, and then you gather everybody back and move on with your next topic and your next subject. Remember that people might wander in and out of your session, and that is totally EdCamp, and that is fine. This has nothing to do with your session and the quality of it. This has everything to do with their needs and our understanding that it is the participants' job to make sure that they get what they need out of it. So if they need to go, or they want to go and look at another session, they probably can get up and go, and that's fine. If there's something that you really feel like people need to stay in that session because it's very specific to them, let them know that they need to stay the whole session. Other than that, people may wander in and out. And lastly, very important, because we are a multi-level EdCamp, you will serve your audience better if you have or multiple grade level examples to share. So if you are typically a fourth grade teacher, you might have high schoolers in your classroom. Giving examples that only have to do with what you talk about, unless of course it's like very specific to fourth grade. But if you're talking about something that could be used and could really help students at all grade levels, which is absolutely true, there's plenty of things in any grade level that's going to help somebody else. Try as you can to have multiple grade level examples. And that way people at different grade levels can really connect. Same with high school people. Try to have ways that you can imagine your stuff that you see in your high school classes happening in a 6th grade or a 5th grade or a 1st grade. How could they interchain and interact? And the more we do that, just the stronger every single student's experience is going to be across the board. And of course, every participant's. Then after the session, make sure that you thank everybody, of course, and check the Google pages. Make sure that your sessions and your conversations are being continued. And session 1, be sure someone picks up your attendance sheet. Guess what? That's like the end of the information I have to give you. I think that is absolutely everything. The last thing I want to do is make sure that you feel free to reach out to Learning Services. One more time is the EdCamp Notes link, and contact me if you have any questions. So if you got the email and you saw that there was a link to participate in the raffle, and you right now have a really good chance of winning. Not many people have made it this far. If they haven't, I expect to see a lot more after the weekend during the replay, but you have your tinyurl.com/presentertsd. You will put your name into this form, that's it, and you need to enter the secret word. Are you ready? The secret word is blue, like the color, blue. That's it. So enter your name and enter the word blue, and you will be entered in the raffle. So thank you so much for your continued leadership in Thompson, and your efforts are absolutely not going unnoticed. Everything that is happening in EdCamp is because people are willing, able, and ready to share their knowledge and to get together and really work together. If there's any questions, I'll stick around for a second. I actually cannot put on my video, even if I wanted to. It keeps going on my camera. My camera keeps going on, but it just shows a big dark spot, like the camera's covered up, and it doesn't appear to be. So I'll fix that later. But anyway, if anybody has questions, you can certainly put them into the chat box and I'll check them out, or just email me or get in touch with somebody on the professional learning team. And I will definitely see you on Tuesday. All right. Have a fabulous long weekend. Take care. I hope everybody is going to have a really good time, and we will see you back bright and shiny Tuesday afternoon. All right. Take care.